Sit down for this one because it will rearrange how you read every conversation you have for the rest of your life. The single most valuable thing in any room, in any family, in any workplace, in any country is not money. It is information. Who knows what? Who knows it first? Who is allowed to know it at all? The people who decided you would stay where you are, small, stuck, confused about why your life is not moving, did not chain you. They did not need to. They simply made sure the information that would have set you free arrived to you late, arrived to you broken, or never arrived at all. The book you needed at 19 was not on the shelf you walked past. The conversation that would have changed everything was happening in a room you were not invited to. You were not supposed to survive this. You were supposed to drift. 3 laws follow. 3 laws for taking back the one thing they cannot afford for you to have.
Law 1. Trust the gap. Pay attention to what is not being said. The absence of information is information. When a manager will not give you a straight answer about your performance, that is the answer. When a parent goes quiet about a relative's situation, that silence is the data. When a partner gets vague about where they were on Thursday night, the vagueness is the file. People underestimate how much they already know because they have been trained to require explicit confirmation. Before they let themselves act on what their gut has already assembled, the trained response is to ask, to seek clarity, to push for a clean sentence, and the trained response is the trap. The people who control information do not control it by lying. They control it by withholding, by deflecting, by giving you partial answers that satisfy the surface question while leaving the actual structure of what's happening completely intact. Read the gap, believe the gap. The gap is louder than the words. This is the harder part. Once you start trusting the gap, you have to act on what it tells you without demanding proof. Most people refuse this. They want a confession. They want a paper trail. They want someone to sit them down and say the quiet thing out loud, so they feel justified in responding to it. That confession is not coming. The people who structured your information environment did so precisely because they knew you would not move on suspicion alone. They counted on it. They built their entire advantage on your need for explicit confirmation before adjusting your behavior. So, adjust without it. Update the file in your head the moment the silence becomes loud enough to register, and behave accordingly from that minute forward. You do not need their admission. You need your own recognition. The pattern is the proof. The withholding is the message. Move on the data you already have. Law 2. Hoard the map. Stop telling people things. Most of what you reveal about yourself, your plans, your numbers, your fears, your next move, your relationship status, your salary, your timeline, your strategy, costs you something and earns you nothing. People believe that openness builds connection, and sometimes it does, but the kind of openness most people practice is not connection. It is a slow, unconscious leak of every advantage they had. The coworker who knows you are job hunting can move against you 100 ways before you even hand in notice. The family member who knows your savings figure now factors into your life decisions in ways you cannot control. The friend who knows you are interested in someone has the option, at any time, to influence that situation in directions you cannot anticipate. None of this requires malice. It requires only that the information exists outside your head, and information that exists outside your head is no longer yours. The discipline here is not paranoia. It is precision. You decide, in advance, which pieces of yourself are visible and which are not, and you stop letting random conversations shake loose pieces you did not mean to give. A practical version of this: when someone asks what you are working on, you have a short answer prepared that says almost nothing while sounding like a real answer. When someone asks how much you make, you do not answer. When someone asks why you and a previous partner ended, you offer a sentence, not a chapter. When someone asks what your plans are for the next year, you say you are figuring it out. even if you have a detailed spreadsheet at home. The people who are owed the full map are the smallest possible circle. The people who have proven, through years, that they hold information without leaking, weaponizing, or unconsciously using it against you. That circle is 2 people, maybe 3, never the room. Keep the map close. Law 3, hunt the source. Almost everything you believe about how the world works came from somewhere. A teacher, a parent, a system, a screen, a friend, an industry, an algorithm. And almost none of it came from a source whose interests are aligned with yours. The school did not teach you how money actually works because the school was not built to produce people who understand money. The news did not tell you what was happening because the news was built to produce attention, not understanding. The advice you received from older relatives came from a world that no longer exists, calibrated to risks and opportunities that are not the risks and opportunities of your life. None of this is conspiracy. It is just the ordinary friction of being a small person inside large systems that were not designed with you in mind. The fix is not to be cynical about everything. The fix is to track every important belief you hold back to its origin and ask whether that origin had any reason to tell you the truth. The work this requires is unglamorous and slow, and it is the reason most people never do it. You have to read the books that the people 3 levels above you actually read, not the ones recommended to people at your level. You have to find the practitioners, the ones who actually do the thing, and listen to how they talk to each other when they are not performing for an audience. You have to develop the habit of asking, every time someone offers you a strong opinion, what they would gain if you believed them. Not in a hostile way, just as a quiet reflex. Over years, the people who do this slowly accumulate a private map of how the world actually operates, which looks almost nothing like the public map most people are working from. They make different decisions. They move earlier. They survive things that wreck other people. The public map was drawn by people who needed you lost. Draw your own.
You were not supposed to survive. You were supposed to drift, to comply, to consume the information you were handed, and reach the conclusions that information was designed to produce. The fact that you are here, reading this, listening to this, suggests that something in you already refused that plan a long time ago. 3 laws: trust the gap, hoard the map, hunt the source. And the architecture of how you take in and give out information will start to shift in ways that compound over years. You will know things sooner. You will reveal less. You will trace your beliefs to their origins and discard the ones that came from poisoned wells. The people who set the original conditions of your life will not understand what happened. They will only notice, eventually, that you are no longer where they left you. That is the entire victory. That is the entire code.